Five mistakes that entrepreneurs make. So entrepreneurs are people who want to be entrepreneurs. And then when I was thinking about this, I was like, um, what are the mistakes I made when I was starting up as an entrepreneur, when I wanted to be an entrepreneur? I was born into this kind of family that we're not entrepreneurs, but my mom used to instill into us, into our children, that we actually need to make money by ourselves. So there was a time I once orged tasty time, and then my brother orged the most because he actually orged soap. Now and then I was thinking about it growing up with that because I tried many things, in order to make money. And then I was thinking, what are some of the mistakes that I made in the past? And then that is why I'm coming up with this five, because I see it a lot of time. I see it happen in other people because I have some teammates and I see like, okay, these are things that probably happen to them, and then I've actually noticed it from my talks and conversations and interactions with other people who are in the same kind of position that I'm in. And then this number one mistake is that they don't start at all. Yes, they don't start at all. That is because they are basically entrepreneurs. They see the life of being an entrepreneur, probably see the Instagram lives of some people. They see the way people are flexing and then enjoying life, and then they wish to be. But then when they think about everything and then they realize, okay, they give themselves a lot of excuses. Sometimes it could be, I don't have enough resources, I don't have the capital, or they plan too much that they don't take a step. Yeah, I've actually been in this kind of position whereby I planned world class. I wanted to have a noodles store, more like somewhere I can sell noodles and bread and egg. And then I planned big. I wanted to have a restaurant that is, as bigger than one of the restaurants in my local place. And then I already selected the location and everything. This is how this would be, this is how this would be, this is the location that it would be, this is how I'm going to be doing my advertisement and everything. And then they plan too big that they don't start at all. But because of what, they don't have the necessary resources to actually start at that level that is up in their head. Now, most times, if only they can get out of their head to actually start with whatever they have, they would actually have moved forward more. And probably, and definitely, if they consist with it, they can, get the goals and the thing that they actually wanted to get that was inside their head. So just like I was watching a video of Jeff Bezos, and then it was like there is nothing he ever did that did not start small. Now, if only most of us could actually realize that there is nothing you want to do in this world, there is no business you want to take, there is no step you want to make that you will not start small. This is something that probably even the Bible says, and uh, I may not put it in the right way, but definitely do not be weary or something of little beginnings. Do you understand? So now they don't want to start because of what? They don't want to start small and they don't start at all. That is number one mistake. So number two is that they are too busy to start. I realized that at a point in time when I was being spoken to about entrepreneurship in the line that I'm in currently, I'm too busy to start. Like I have a lot of things going on in my world, and then as a result of that, let's just put this on hold, and then maybe later on we can give it a try. So they are too busy to start. They give themselves a lot of excuses. Basically, that's just it. There is a lot of excuses putting into it. That is, you're supposed to like get this thing done. Just start somewhere. But then there is this veil, this mirage of things that they need to do, things that they need to put in place first before they actually start. Now, I know it sounds easier said than done, but definitely that's just it. That's just the real fact. Now, some of this that I'll be saying will basically be basic things that it makes like it's like common sense. There is no special thing about what I'll be saying. But basically, most of the simple things, some of the simple things that are in there, some of the simple, like you want to make money. You have to sell something, or you probably have to provide a service. It is as basic as that, but most people don't even do the basic things. You need time to actually focus on things, and then you are basically spending your time on worthless things that are not supposed, like they are not generating what would actually make you attain those things that you want to attain. These are basic things that people don't do, and this is what, because I'm also a victim of it. There are some basic things also that I don't do, but I'm a work in progress. But most people, they know the basic things, but they don't do the basic things. And then thank God they know the basic things, because maybe one day they would actually realize the truth and then they take a step. But most people don't even know. So number two, also mistakes that I made, or that I feel like entrepreneurs they actually make, is that they think they would always be motivated to start or take action. Now, I've been into gatherings where at that point in time when the vibe, like the vibration was hot and everything. I am so motivated to actually do something. And then after getting out of that kind of situation, it just feels like everything is off. Like while I was in that gathering, I'll probably see like a lot of possibilities, start telling all my excuses, fuck you, like, is this you? Like, you've been holding me down since all this while. And I'm like, I can do this, like, I can do this. But then once I get out of that part, or then maybe in my downtime, now one thing I always used to think that there was something wrong with me when I am not feeling good to actually do something, and then I wait for the best time when I'm feeling good to actually do something. Now, it doesn't work like that. That is one thing that you should realize. You cannot always be motivated to start or take actions. That is where self discipline actually comes into play. That is, you have to do it whether or not you feel like. You have to do it whether or not it seems suiting or sweet or favorable to you. You have to just show up every time. Now, one thing is that most times, entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, they disrespect themselves a lot. That is one thing that we do that actually we used to shoot ourselves in the leg. We disrespect ourselves a lot. If you were working with a boss, and that is one thing that I use for myself. If I was working with a boss, and then the boss tells me every week you have to create a content every day. A day you miss a content creation, you would be sacked. I would find all means and all ways to always create the content, whether or not I feel like doing it. I would always look for the inspiration. I would always research on topics. I would always do things that I need to do to actually make sure that I create the content. But then when we realize that, okay, it is just me, we give ourselves a lot of excuses. We cut ourselves some slacks and like, I can, I can do this another way. No, be your boss. Your being your boss doesn't mean you have freedom. It is basically you being your boss to yourself. Now, most times when I tell people I owe a lot of money, I am basically owing myself debt because of what? Let's assume I am being employed by a boss, and then we have a goal and a target to actually meet in a month. And then personally, I would definitely want to like work towards it to actually make it for the person. So if it's me, that means I'm owing myself money. That means I have to like make the money. You understand? So that is one another thing. The only thing that get me motivated, you can always be motivated. It will not always be rosy. It will not always be sweet. It will not always be interesting. You don't always feel like it. We just have to like do it. Just go do it. What are the things that are needed to do? What are the things that are needed to do? Just go do what needs to be done. So another thing also is that the protect was not hidden. Now, entrepreneurs are these special kind of people that they have plans, they want to rock the world. And yeah, because this is something that have happened to me, and the kind of community and the society that I'm in, we are kind of secretive. That is, you have a plan, you have an idea. If you like, I don't want to show this out, I don't want somebody else to steal my plan. One thing I've got to realize is that there's nothing hidden. Your plan is not actually like, I don't know if this has happened to anyone before, and you feel like, okay, you have a plan or something, and then you would realize that somebody is actually doing that thing that you plan to do. It happens a lot of time. Or let's say you did not do something, and then suddenly you just find somebody doing that thing that you planned to do. It's something that affects a lot. The protect was not hidden. Like, if like, okay, this thing is really in my head. I've actually worked with someone in the past, and then this lady had a very beautiful idea of a product that she wants to create. And then the only reason why she did not create it was because she felt like, or she feel like, companies would actually steal her ideas. And then she never started till today. Now your idea would only be buried. Like, just take the risk. Like, most times I've been in a kind of position also that I have something in mind to actually say, a question to ask actually. And then normally, as a human being, I meant like captain or probably meet somebody who would probably be okay with it. And then ask someone secretively. But then I was like, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen if I ask this question? Why not just go out and then ask this question? And then, mind you, after asking the question, I actually had somebody connect with me. I was like, yo, like what you said just correlated, like it correlated or correlates with what I'm currently experiencing, what I've experienced in the past. Like, let's, meet together and let's plan, and then let's think of a way to actually get around this problem. That is one thing. One thing is that once you speak with people, of course, there will be people that they are not really like fine or okay with it. But then you said it out. One thing I do a lot of times is that I know some people, I ask some people questions not because I want their approval, but because I want them to actually disapprove it. And then that would stand as a reason for me to actually push ahead. I do that. I know you definitely be negative against it. Yeah, because of what I expect that you be negative against it. Once I see that you are negative against it, I definitely see that as a sign that I should push forward with it. And then there are many people, most times I prefer the criticism sometimes than the, of course I like encouragement as well. But then than the sweet words, you doing good. Of course, I always want to improve. Do you understand? So don't protect what's not hidden. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing you have in your head that it didn't come into another person's head. But most times you actually realize that your idea, if you take your idea and you have it in your head, you never might tell somebody who has another combo idea that you guys can collaborate together to actually do what? To actually make it a very big thing. That is a mistake if you do not say it out. Now I know it feels like somehow like somebody might steal my. Of course, they may steal your idea, but you had the idea. You thought about one. What do you think would happen? Now there is one thing that there is a story in the Bible of course. My apologies if we have people who are not Christians or something who are not familiar with the Bible. I'm not trying to sound religious, but definitely it's something that happened, and then it's a parable given by Jesus, and then I think 3 people were actually given talents. One was given, I don't know the exact number, but I'll just mention, but I know the last number. So let's say one was given 12, one was given 7, and the last one was given 1. And the 12th one, and the master traveled. And after the master came, the master was like, okay, what did you do with this talent? And then the 12th one with the 12 talents brought it out and felt like you have doubled it. The one with 7 talents brought it out and felt like you have doubled it. And then one with 1 talent was like, I didn't do anything with it and all that. Now, if only the one with the 1 talent could have actually shared the idea with other people, even if it was small, like, okay, what can I do with this talent? What can I do with just this one? You would have probably doubled it or tripled it or done anything with it. Now, one thing is that if you have your idea, it is your idea. But if you have somebody with the same idea, let's say you're 3 or you're even 2, and then you take your idea, you take it to meet another person, the idea becomes 4, the idea becomes 2. It doubles. So most times, most entrepreneurs, they do what? They protect what's not hidden. Because there's nothing new under the sun, just like a proverb says in my language. So another mistake that they make, which is mistake number 4, is that they compete with who they ought to learn from. They compete with who they ought to learn from. Now, it will be very silly of you. Let's say you want to start a bookstore, an online bookstore, for instance, and then you select Amazon as your competition. Like, it is very, very silly. And then you select Amazon as your competition, you just sort of beat them hands down. No, you learn from them. You read his books. You take him as a mentor. You love him. At least if you don't love him at that moment in time, but then you love him, you do what he's doing, what he did first, before you actually do it. Before you say you want to compete, you have to reach his level. Before you say you want to compete, you have to beat the number of years he has been using to actually do this thing. Before you say you want to compete with him. Now, most times, instead of people to learn from people, they compete with each other, and it doesn't make any sense, because you are not able to do what the person has done in the past in terms of input. You don't have up to that experiential level of the kind of input that the person has put into it. Now, there is no way you would actually get the output that the person is actually getting. I've been in that kind of position before, and I feel like, okay, people are actually getting results from something, and then instead of me to, sit down and learn from them, what I did was that I was busy competing with them, and didn't make any sense because I did not get the result I wanted, and then I was, I felt proud to some extent to go meet them to teach me this thing, because they were people I was competing with, and then it actually was silly later when I actually thought about it. So as a wannapreneur, you don't compete with who you're supposed to learn from. People are actually getting some result or the other. You do what? You move closer to them, you learn from them, you take them as a mentor if possible. There are some mentors, there are people, they take people who want to be like them, and then they teach them. That's what they call masterclass. That's what they call learning. You can't say you want to compete with them. So that's mistake number 4. Mistake number 5 is that they think it's a rocket science. They think it's a rocket science. They think it's something that once they start it, it would continue growing and growing and growing and growing, and then the world will know them automatically. No, even that's what you're thinking entrepreneurship is, probably you should not get into it, because there will be failures, there will be heartbreaks, there will be time that there will be down times. There will be down times. I once made a video regarding the phases about business or about anything you do, and then the first one is called what? Uninformed optimism. Uninformed optimism. That is, it has a point whereby once you get into something because you see somebody get a result in it, or you see somebody doing that thing and successfully, smashing the goal, and then because of you see that kind of thing happening, you do what? You decide to go into it. Now, when you go into it, of course, you may be lucky at the very first instance, but there is no how you would actually do what? You actually face resistance. And then when they face resistance, that is when things begin to go down. And with that, I call it uninformed optimism. That is, informed pessimism. Informed pessimism. That is to say, they now know, okay, this thing actually has some hard part about it, has some hard nut about it. Even there is nothing in this world that is always very easy. In fact, sometimes everything can be hard. So now, most especially in entrepreneurship, there will be times that you would actually face challenges. Now, challenges could be due to many things. It could be due to the fact that you are not trained enough, the fact that you are not prepared enough, and there is no way you can be prepared enough. It is a new thing, it is a new horizon, or it's a new place you are expanding into. You don't expect it to be sweet. And then if everything is all sweet and rosy, that means you're not doing anything. But if you're facing challenges on the way, you do what? You get, that means you're actually doing something. And if you break those challenges, if you break those resistance, then you move on to another thing. So an extra tip, which is number 6, I'll give an extra, is that it thinks success is a goal. Success is never a goal. Success is a journey. Once you stop succeeding, once you reach a goal of success, you do what? You definitely decline over time. There is no point there. The richest man in the world cannot remain at a point and say, I have now hit the target of the richest man in the world, I have achieved my goal, now it is time to sit down and enjoy it. They would go down, another person will definitely overtake them. So success is not a goal. Success is the journey. Of course, you achieve things along the way, but never make it a goal. Make it a continuous habit to always succeed. In the goal of entrepreneurship, one scary part about it is that once you hit something or you hit a milestone, you have to continue going. There is no stopping down. There is no stopping back. There is no going down. You always have to put in effort into everything you do. Every day, you have to continuously develop and grow. That's one thing that people don't want to do, because they don't want to stress their brain. They don't want to stress their head. They don't want to push forward. So as a result of that, they do what? They make success a goal. Now, success is not a goal. So those are 5 mistakes that WANNAPRENEURS make, and I gave a tip, which is number 6. So in whatever you are doing, if you want to start being an entrepreneur, start. Don't look for a perfect time to actually start before you start something. Number 2 is that you do what? You can never be motivated. You cannot always be motivated to actually do things before you do them. You can always wait to be motivated before you do things, for you to do things before you do them. If not, you would do less than you would do more. Number 3 is that you do what? Don't protect what's not hidden. Your ideas, other people have it, and if you share it with other people, you do what? You actually make it, you also learn from other people as well. And number 4 is that you don't compete with who you're supposed to learn from. Don't compete with who you're supposed to learn from. And then number 5 is that it's not a rocket science. It can't continue growing up. There will be times that it will come down, fall deep. There is a dip in success in entrepreneurship. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you do what? You always have to expect that, because you do what? When this goes down, you actually learn from the mistakes that you make, and then you do what? You raise yourself back up, or balance up, or probably go down again. It depends. So, and then number 6, which is the last tip, is that success is not a goal. Success is a journey. You will continue to succeed, win and lose, but then you will learn from it. You do not lose. If you win, it is your win. If you lose, you learn. So I hope this was able to help somebody who probably wants to be an entrepreneur. So if this provided value to you, please do well to like this video, comment any points that actually got to you, or any idea or anything, and then hit the subscribe button, and also click on the notification bell so that whenever a new video comes up like this, you would easily be notified as soon as possible. So thank you very much, and then enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.